In the heart of rural Nebraska, nestled amid sprawling fields and winding country roads, there lay a quaint town by the name of SilverCreek. Its population was modest, its residents close-knit, and life seemed to flow peacefully under the wide-open skies. But beneath the veneer of tranquility, a darkness lurked, a darkness that would soon grip the town in fear and despair. It started subtly, with reports of strange sightings in the dead of night. Shadows that moved unnaturally, whispers carried on the wind that spoke of things unseen. The townsfolk brushed these tales aside at first, attributing them to the overactive imaginations of tired minds. But as the days stretched into weeks, the whispers grew louder, and fear began to seep into the very fabric of SilverCreek. The first to notice something was amiss was old Mrs. Jenkins, who lived alone in a small cottage on the outskirts of town. One moonlit night, as she tended to her garden, she caught a glimpse of a figure lurking in the shadows, a figure that moved with an unsettling fluidity, its eyes gleaming like twin orbs of malice. She blinked, and it was gone, leaving her heart pounding in her chest and a cold sweat on her brow. Soon, others began to share similar experiences. Mr. Thompson, the town's butcher, claimed to have seen a pack of coyotes prowling the streets, their eyes glowing with an unnatural intensity. Young Sarah Collins swore she heard her mother's voice calling to her from the woods behind their house, despite her mother being miles away visiting relatives. Whispers of skinwalkers began to circulate among the more superstitious residents, a term whispered with equal parts dread and disbelief. According to local lore, skinwalkers were sinister beings capable of assuming the forms of animals, or even humans, wielding dark magic to sow chaos and terror wherever they roamed. As the weeks turned into months, the once thriving community of SilverCreek began to unravel. People grew wary and distrustful, locking their doors at night and avoiding the streets after sunset. The town square, once bustling with laughter and chatter, now lay deserted, its silence punctuated only by the distant howling of coyotes and the occasional mournful cry of an owl. But the true horror unfolded when the disappearances began. It started with stray cats and dogs vanishing without a trace, their owners left to wonder what had become of their beloved pets. Then, one by one, townsfolk began to vanish as well. First the loners and outsiders, then even those who had lived in SilverCreek for generations. No one dared to speak of the truth that lay heavy in their hearts, that the skinwalkers had taken root in SilverCreek, blending seamlessly into the fabric of everyday life. They lurked in the shadows, wearing the faces of neighbors and loved ones, their hunger for fear and chaos insatiable. By the time the authorities arrived from nearby towns, drawn by the sudden spike in missing person reports, it was too late. SilverCreek lay eerily silent, its streets deserted, its homes empty shells haunted by the memories of those who had vanished without a trace. And so the tale of SilverCreek passed into legend, a cautionary tale whispered around campfires and recounted in hushed tones by those who dared to remember. A town once thriving and full of life, now lost to the darkness that had claimed it, a darkness that still lingers, waiting patiently for its next unsuspecting victim.